It's another Sunday, 4 p.m. Welcome to Dadas, Kenya's first women's reality talk show. We welcome you to our show. Now, people normally say that women are their own worst enemies, and that many women will get up to the ladder of success and start to kick down instead of pulling others up. Today, we want to talk about the area of women and mentorship. How do we get more women up? And you may say, oh, there's affirmative action, oh, the boy child is suffering. But the truth is, in many boardrooms, many women sit in there alone as secretaries. So to unpack this, I want to welcome Lisa, Judge Lisa, as she's commonly known. Very tough, very tough Judge Lisa on Talanta Mtaani. Karibu Lisa.
Thank you so much.
And her mentee, Salome. Salome, you told me you just want to be introduced as Salome, Judge Lisa's mentee. Yes. So it's not my fault you don't have a second name and you don't have a title. Cindy?
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's your title. Salome, Judge Lisa's mentee. So Lisa, where did you come from? I mean, you must have come from somewhere. You are really tough. You are on this show, normally surrounded by men, and you're the one making people sweat. Where did they remove you from?
Wow. Lisa coming into this space it's a long journey. Immediately coming to this space, I was just from PPMC, and...
What is PPMC?
PPMC is the Permanent Presidential Entertainment Commission.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I had worked with them for a while, and we were doing the artist camps in Isiolo once every quarter. And just after that, I had done a small, it was during the elections, and I was doing, I give back to my community where I come from. So I live in Kawangware, and one of the things I always do in my neighborhood is once a year, I do the Vijana Ni Sasa homecoming concert. So I had just done that, and we had all of these guys wanting to go into office and MCAs. And so we were doing the Vijana Ni Sasa homecoming, and they were in attendance. And I did for the first time, we did a small talent search for them to also get picked by PPMC. And it was there that someone saw me doing that, and they were friends with the CEO and producer of Talanta Mtaani. And the next time they were sitting together, this person told the CEO and producer of Talanta Mtaani that I have the perfect judge for you. Talanta Mtaani had just been conceptualized. It hadn't started. So the executive producer was looking for a judge. And this person told, I have the perfect person. So he was like, who is this person? She's not even famous, you know. And I think that for me was a big challenge, because fame is not my thing. If I get famous, it's by the way. So a lot of people did not know me in the space, and everyone was wondering, how can you be a judge? We don't even know you in the public domain per se. So he said, fine, let me meet this person. And the first time we met, he made the decision there and there. And that was how I became the first judge of Talanta Mtaani. And I have been on Talanta Mtaani for 3 seasons now. Yeah. And moving into its 4th season, I am still a judge. And as of last season, I was named the head resident judge.
Yay! Yeah. Now, Salome.
Yes.
I'm sure you came from somewhere. Don't tell me you've always been attached to Judge Lisa as her mentee. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Salome Njau. I'm a student at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology. I met Judge Lisa in April while I was auditioning for Talanta Mtaani. So from then on, I decided that this is actually someone who I can approach and someone who can help me discover who I really am in terms of talent growth and the industry out here. So that's how I met Judge Lisa. I'm taking a bachelor's degree in education, that is English literature. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a teacher.
Okay, so Lisa, you are turning a teacher to a singer, or what are you doing now?
Pauline, my first degree was in psychology, the second one was in business, but I'm not doing any of those things. I am in the artistic industry. I'm in the creative.
In fact, that leads me to my next question. You have 2 degrees.
Yes, ma'am.
And you decide to abandon your 2 degrees to go and become a creative person. And where we know the creative sector is very rough, and we'll come to that. How did that happen?
First, by default, my father, I come from a very musical family. My father played the solo guitar for a renowned Benga group called Kolela Mazi.
Eh, Kolela Mazi.
Yeah. So I grew up very musical. My mom sings alto very nicely. And when we were growing up, me and my siblings actually had a family choir, and we would sing in church.
Okay.
So my creative instincts came from very, very young. But now joining this industry actively was when I was in Strathmore University in my 2nd year. There was an event going on in school, and I attended, and I was chosen as one of the performers to grace. It was the mathematics conference. It happens every year in Strathmore. So that was the first time I discovered I could do this as a business, because people actually saw it and they were like, we could use you for events. And then I started thinking about it as a business, and that was the birth of my first company. Okay. Yeah?
Now, wait. I want, because the viewers need to hear how many things you do. Please tell us how many things you do. And I know you don't do them all at once, but these are your capabilities, your skills and capabilities. Please kindly share.
In the creative industry, I am a singer, I am a songwriter, I am a fitness dance choreographer, and I also choreograph hip-hop and ballroom dance. I am a poet. And I am a teacher. I'm an artistic teacher. I'm an art teacher, creative art teacher, yes. But besides that, professionally, I am an addiction counselor, trained and verified. And I'm also a brand strategist.
Okay, Salome.
Yes.
We were talking before, and you said one of the things that you know about Lisa is that she's a hustler. Can you explain what you meant? Because she should have added, the hustle is real in Lisa's life. So can you explain what you meant? Because in how many things she's even able to, she's qualified to do, and the skills and the competencies that she has are so many that for me, I'm in shock that anybody can have those many skills and competencies. So explain what you were sharing before.
Okay, I actually call her a superwoman, because I don't understand how she can manage all these things at once. She might be dealing with this one here, then another one, a call, yeah, you're needed here. She's there also. And surprisingly, she manages to make it look so simple and so easy, but in real sense, it's hard work.
Very hard work.
So she's really good at what she does when it comes to shows and trying to get our band out there and trying to make people aware that we exist and putting us out there. She does it quite well.
Okay,
yeah.
So you have a band. You're
Yes.
part of a band from season 3. Tell us a bit about your band. Well,
we are the Jam Afrique band. We came from Kakamega. Lisa discovered us, and she saw great talent in us, and she decided, hey, I need to work with you people. I can see potential, and I know you can get to greater heights. Yeah. So from there, she has worked with us. It's amazing how we feared her because of her comments. She was the female version of Judge Ian. Yeah. So we were like, hey, will you be able to deal with her? But she came through. She is actually a very nice and sweet person, straightforward, ready to help where she can. And so far, so good. We are actually hoping for the best, and we know we'll get somewhere with her being our guide.
So many nice words being said about you, but I wanted to talk about the larger scale. This is your microscope, your organism that you've chosen as your pet project. But generally, when you do Talanta Mtaani, how many kids come through your training?
Every year, I do 2 seasons of Talanta Mtaani, and if I could take a small view of the past 6 months, I have had 410 young artists go through my hands, go through my training, and just become different people from when I met them. So every year I could touch about 1,000 lives. And that for me is doing what I was put on this earth to do.
That's amazing. You know, that's actually so sweet. If we went on TV, I would have hugged you by then. That is so sweet, by the way.
Thank you.
The reason I'm very passionate about what you're doing is because creative people tend to have to discover themselves by themselves. Like this band would have had to struggle through whatever to make it to whatever they would have, you know, to whatever level. So for you to train them is something amazing. I'm sure this is hard.
It is. It's
What
very
are
hard.
some of the challenges?
The biggest thing for me, and I always tell them, is if when I was starting, I had someone like me, I'd be very far today. But my biggest challenge has been with the mindset, even in our society today. People don't want to help you when you're still down there, but they want to know you when you're made. Right now, the people who knew me when I was just starting off and I didn't know where to go and how to do this are looking at me very differently. And now they want to be known as people who know me and they're my friends. And for me, I think my lowest moment was when my mentor died, the late Acheng Lideabura. So when she died, you're left alone. You're like, so where do I start? And even the people who are with you in her circle now, you know, you are not their burden, so, you know, you have to figure this out on your own. Okay. And it's been really it's like a light in my heart that I have to take up someone and take them to where someone taught me I need to go. She never got me there, but I am sure she's smiling down on me from heaven. And she's very proud of the woman I have become. Because she taught me that for you to get to where you're going, you need to take someone with you. Because you might need company on your way back. Yeah. So that's what really pushes me to touch a life every day, everywhere. And just, if I can do it large scale, I mean, come on. That for me is a win.
I know. In Kenya, you're already doing it very large scale, but I'm sure you are dreaming of doing it even larger.
Yes.
Every time I look at Talanta, and because I've been in the arts scene myself, I notice that there are very few women. Yes. And that the women who come don't stay very long in the arts scene. Why is that?
First, it's a male-dominated industry. I'm a very good editor. I'm a video editor, self-taught. But for me to get a job against a guy who's also a video editor, they will take him before they think of me as a woman. Why? Because there's a misconception that any job ya machali, unajua, any domain ya men. And men actually, it's a mental setting that there are things men can do and things women can do. And I think the creative industry is so hard because now again, you go into an industry where men are the rule makers, they are the king makers. This industry today, a lot of producers are men. A lot of directors are men. A lot of the big shots are men. So when do women get to have a say? So it becomes very hard when you're a woman and you're trying to scale that ladder. It's been broken in the corporate sense, because in the corporate world, women have broken the glass ceiling. But in this industry, it's still very young as it is. The Kenyan creative industry is still learning how to get on its feet and walk. So it's still very young. And the challenges are very real. Like you'd go pitch for a show against a guy's show, and they'll take the guy's show because they think, jamaa anailewa production kuliko dem. So a lot of women come, make what you can, and leave. They do not stay. Okay,
but isn't it also the case, and I'll come to you, Salome, with this question, because you are young, you're still fresh, but then she looks very fresh. She's a few months old, she has not become jaded.
No.
Isn't it also true that shows are at night?
Yes.
A lot of the work is not conventional. You don't go to work 8 and come home at 5. You work long hours. And then sometimes you have times when you don't work at all. Yeah. And you are seated at home. So isn't that also a big problem? If you're a woman, you are trying to, and you know women love security. So this insecure life of being an artist, today you're up, tomorrow you are down. Sometimes you are remembered, sometimes you are forgotten. Not. And then as you grow older, you have to then find a new place, a new season every time. What do you say to that?
I think for me is, and by the way, I say it without fear, yeah? If I am to get married, I will get married to someone in the industry who understands how it works. And most of the time, we as women leave this industry because you are attached to someone in life who does not understand that it is not conventional. I will do shoots that end at 3 a.m. in the morning, but I started working at 7 p.m., you wouldn't understand that. But it's okay for a man to actually be out at those hours. I have a child I have to live with someone because I have to go for a shoot where I can't have my baby with me. So for women, it's, let me say, there's a lot of double standard in the creative industry when it comes to women, because it's a scene where we are not just allowed to be. We have a lot of explaining to do. We have a lot of catching up to do. Because you'll sit at home. Sometimes when things are slow for me, I get at least 3 days, and that is slow. 3 days, and I'm at home, and even people at home don't understand. You're just seated, but when you start, you never stop. It's time that I think people should also learn and understand that different industries work differently. When I worked at NIC, leave house at 6, come back at 6. And that's conventional. I'll make my dinner, and I'll be the typical Kenyan woman. But in this industry, you don't have time for that. I mean, I'm competing with men.
Yeah.
So when they're out at 3 a.m., I will be out at 3 a.m.
Okay. I'm coming back to you to ask you a really important question. Salome, you're still young and fresh. You've just had. Do you really want to get into this?
Because I've seen it's actually a good place where I can actually be myself. Yeah, I love singing. I love going out there, just putting my voice out there for people to hear and be happier. So I'd really love to be part of this industry.
Okay.
I think I'm ready for the challenge.
You are. But I asked you before whether you would be able to hustle as hard as Lisa. And you said, no, I don't think so.
You see, Lisa is Lisa. Lisa is Lisa. But I believe her accepting to be my mentor, she saw something in me. And she saw that I can actually navigate through this whole journey and actually be successful. Yeah.
Yeah, the good thing for you, I'll tell you this for free, because Lisa paid such, the Lisas of this world pay a heavy price, the next generation of artists like you don't have to. They don't have to pay a heavier price. And then you have somebody hand-holding you, opening doors for you. You see, nobody did that. She had to bust the doors open, kick doors, I don't know, do what. But you are going to have a better of a soft landing, so you can afford to still be nice, still keep smiling, you know. Lisa, does this industry pay money? Like, is there real money? Is there money to be fought over?
Hey, Pauline, I will tell you this for free. The money in the creative industry is not immediate. It is eventual.
Okay.
You have to earn it. That's the truth. If you start today, a lot of people see me on TV and they think I should be driving a Beamer or, no, it takes time. Because the money in the creative industry is not even there, ready. Not sure. I always tell people that the creative industry in Kenya has a turnover of 9 billion a week. But why are we not seeing this money?
Yeah,
it's
where
because,
is it?
Hey, kuna wale watu wako pale wanakula hiyo pesa. But the moment we learn to first invest in the creative industry, then we will bring the money closer. If we don't invest in it, then there's no money in it.
Okay.
So right now, what people are working on is their capital that they're getting from their pockets. And you see, distributing that to an entire industry that already is overcrowded is very hard. But if we get to have policies where we can allow people invest in the creative industry, just like you invest in another business, then it would make sense because we would have cash that moves around. Right now, it's not moving around. It's coming from this record label to Nameless. Ikitoka kwa Nameless inaenda wapi? Inaenda kwa supermarket. Haijarudi kwa creative industry. But if we had a company out there that's saying, I want to circulate this among, it started happening with the youth fund, but then it lost momentum. If you said today, I want to take 10 young artists, put them in a studio, finance them, you see now you're circulating money within the creative, because you're paying a producer, you're paying a director, you're paying a backup vocalist, you're paying a writer, now the money is moving.
Okay.
But if it's still running the way it is, then by the way, it will take time.
Okay. So what keeps you there? And you've been there a while. What keeps you going if they're not paying you the kind of money you should be paid?
This industry, ini kazi ya love. You don't do this if you don't really love this, because you get tired. There are days I wake up in the morning and I say, I am done. But then I sit down for 5 minutes and I think of people like Salome who are looking at me for direction. And I'm like, you know what? I started this. I can't stop. And because I love what I do, it becomes easy for me because I am able to think of, okay, if this is not going to work, I have to think of a way that something else will work and make that turnaround.
Okay.
And right now, I can say it's becoming easier because as people also get to know you and get to understand what you're about, then it becomes very easy. Right now, I can walk into a corporate and say, this is what I have, and they will pay for it because they have seen it happening. So again, the other issue is we need to now start giving the creative industry the attention it deserves for it to also make money for the people in it.
Okay. Do you have programs that are specifically for, and I know Salome is here, but I feel for young ladies who come into the industry, what do you tell them? What are some of the things you tell the Salomes of this world when they are beginning to come into the industry?
The biggest thing I tell them, and I tell them this from day one, you will cry, you will hurt, you will break.
Hey, Salome, why stay? These words are not good words. They are not good words. My words would be, you will make a lot of money, you will buy a house, you will get a good husband. Why would you want to be?
But you see, that will be 20 years later. So what happens between year 1 and year 19? It's the hustle. And that's the part people have to be very mentally prepared for. Because if you're not mentally prepared for it, you won't make it. You'll stay in it for 2 years and you're like, sawa, mi naenda kuolewa, nimemaliza hiyo story. You understand? And that's why we are losing a lot of young talent. A lot of young talent that's very, very good. They came in, they have big dreams, but then they realize, this place is not that easy. Wacha niachane tu na hii story. You get?
Okay. Salome? Yes. I think for me, my last question to you concerning this whole industry. When you think of yourself 10 years from now, how do you see yourself?
I see myself as an artist who is going to touch the lives of young people, especially those who aren't fortunate enough to have people to guide them, aren't fortunate enough to have the finances, aren't fortunate enough to have the resources that people have. So if I'll be that artist who'll be out there to hold them, to tell them, hey, because I'm not also from a well-to-do off background, yeah? But if I get that chance to show people like it really doesn't matter, you can still make it. We still have people out here who believe in us, yeah? We can make it.
Okay, Salome, my last question. Will you go back to Kakamega? Wacha mchezo. Tell me the truth. Before you leave. No, Lisa, I'm asking a genuine question. Will she go back to Kakamega? Because she came from Kakamega. The band is called what?
Jama Freak.
Jama Freak band. Eh? So when Jama Freak makes it, will you go back to Kakamega and have a talent search for bands in Kakamega? Because that's the only way you can convince me you're going to help the world, change the world, blah, blah, blah.
You still have to go back. I mean, there are people who are looking up to you people, yeah? There are people we've left there who know Jama Freak, yeah, penye inaenda, yeah, there's hope, yeah. So if we make it, of course we'll go back and tell people, sasa kujeni, even though kunaendanga. You see, yeah, we have to go back.
Lisa, she said it on national TV. My dear girl, you said it on national TV. You can be quoted. You can never take it back
There's
now.
evidence.
Yes. And there is now evidence saying that you promised that you will go back to Kakamega when you make it. So everybody in Kakamega, if you are looking, please, Lisa has promised she's coming back to Kakamega. We're going into a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about mentorship, women and mentorship. Go get your cup of tea. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Dadas. Today we've been talking about women mentoring women. And mentoring is simply calling out talent in other women, calling out potential in other women, working with other women and encouraging them. And so today we've been talking with Judge Lisa, and Jacky, our resident counselor, is in. Jacky, I wanted to begin by asking you, why is it that people say women kiss up and kick down?
Pauline, thank you for the opportunity to be back again. I'm excited to be here. Mentorship is a very interesting journey. Let me just first begin by defining it a little bit more and including a few words in the definition. I want to say that mentorship is an intentional process. First of all, it's a relationship that is mutual. It is unique. And the goal really is to help and empower the individual that is being mentored. So first of all, it's intentional. It's intentional for both parties. It is intentional for the mentor, and it is intentional for the mentee. And so when the mentee is seeking for mentorship, there is a journey that they must be prepared to walk through. Now, for the mentor, I want to say that this is a person who is an expert in their field. This is a person who's been seasoned. This is a person who has learned a few things here and there, and they want to pay forward. And when I say pay forward, is that they want to invest their life into the life of another individual to lift them up. Well, this is a process that may probably take time. Yes, it will. It may take more than 2-3 months. Some processes go even for years, where you have someone literally working with you on different spheres and aspects of your life. Yes, so it is a process. It is a process. It is engaging, and it is involving.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question was that we don't see a lot of women mentors. Yes. Let me go back to that again. I had somebody walk up to me and say, the reason women, we get to middle management, but we don't get to the board.
Yeah.
Because at the board level, it's referrals that work. And we don't refer each other. We don't call out talent in each other. We seem to want to be alone. When we get to the top, we seem to want to sit there alone. Is there a reason for that?
Let me start by saying that, first of all, the process of getting to the top is hard. And they actually say that the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. So it becomes quite lonely when you're up there. I also want to say that it is a myth that there are no women mentors. I think they're there. I think they are open and willing. It is only that they have not been given that approach or the opportunity to work with whoever it is interested with the process. Well, society says that women are their own worst enemies, unfortunately, and that is a cliche that has gone round for quite a while. But we are rising up to discover that when a woman is mentored by another woman, they feel very supported, they feel very uplifted, because it's only the woman who will understand the journey that another woman is taking. And it is not necessary that the woman mentor is the one who is putting down the mentee. I think there are very many women in this nation, especially, and of course in Africa at large, who are very purposeful at mentoring and paying forward. And they have done amazing things. And some of those things may not cost the mentees a dime, but there are processes, there are programs, and they have established workshops and such like things to help elevate this woman who is trying to find herself at the beginning of her career. Yes, so the place may be lonely, but I think mostly it's an assumption, because this woman holds such an important place of power in the boardroom, then she is unreachable. And sometimes she could be because of the nature of her work. But I think deep in her mind, she is at a place where she is thinking, well, is my life about success now that I have hit the ceiling? What about significance? And a lot of people, once they get to that level, and I want to say even at the level of, you're in your mid-40s or 50s, you're not being threatened by a person who is just as gifted or more, who is coming after you, but you want to leave footsteps. You want to mark your way into the world, and you want to leave a place of significance. And the best thing that can help you to do that is when you pour your life in the lives of other people. Yeah.
Lisa, you told me you were mentored by Achenga Bura. Yes. That she was fantastic. Yes. She was, of course, she was larger than life.
Yes.
Physically, in every aspect. She was very large. She was a very large woman. Yes. What was your experience being mentored by her? What are the things you remember about your mentorship experience?
A lot of the things they have lived with me. The reason why I am the way I am. When I stand for something, I don't change that. I got that from her. Growing up, my mother was absent. My parents were absent for some time because my parents separated when I was around 7, 9. So my parenting was shaky. So this person became my mother. She became my friend. She became my teacher. She became the person that prays for me. She literally became my life. So everything I know in the industry and most of the things I know as a person is because I saw this in her. And she taught me how to be a woman, you know. And those are things you do not just... And for me, it's very important for women to raise women. Because as much as women just raise kids and you raise your children, among your children, you have to know that a man has to raise the boy into a man and a woman has to raise the girl into a woman. So from that experience, I am able to also be a mother when I need to be a friend when I need to be a sister when I need to be, and also be a boss when I have to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jacky, is there a process in mentorship? Is there something we should, are there some things we should know? Sometimes people may walk, I don't know if this happens to the two of you, people walk up to me and say, I want you to mentor me. And sometimes I agree, and I'm not sure what I'm agreeing to. And then they call me, we have 2 meetings, and then I never see them again. I don't know whether I have mentored them, whether they ran away. But so, are there things that mentors do?
Yeah.
What are they? Do you know?
That's a very interesting question, and it is very important, especially for anyone who is going into mentorship or a person who wants to be mentored. And I must say that before I answer that question, there are successful groups or women who have mentored people right here in Nairobi, and I can attest, and I know of some that I've even helped to begin. You know, it's a group of women, professionals who've come together, and they have decided that they have so much knowledge and skill, and they want to empower others, and I've helped them to set up the structure. Others have been in a church setup, where they have seen that our young people are going wayward, and instead of sitting and pointing fingers and saying, look at the youth of today, they have decided to come together as women, and they have decided to put up a program of mentorship, and it is very successful. So we have several success stories of mentorship. Now, going back to the question, one, we have to know that before you agree to mentor someone, or before someone approaches you for you to mentor her, you have to ask, at what point are our lives aligning? You know, is it career? Is it family life? You know, what is it that we have in common? What is it that, what do I look in you and I admire? There has to be a place where there's some commonality, because then you cannot guide someone into a field that you're not aware of yourself. And so when someone is being guided, like she has said, you know, she was mentored on all-rounded, be it her career, be it family, be it whatever. So we must identify what is it that I want to learn. And that is when now you look at a person who is superior, a person who is an authority in their field. And
so even as a mentor,
yes,
when people come up to me and say, I want you to mentor me, I must ask them, where are we connecting?
Exactly.
Because I may want to mentor them in areas they're not interested in my mentorship, isn't it?
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah.
The word is connectedness. What is that connectedness that both of you share?
Okay.
You know, where is it that your paths in life are crossing?
Okay.
And you also have to look at issues like, how are you relating with this person?
Yeah.
Do you know them? Have you interacted with them in a different forum? It is very hard to begin a mentorship thing with a person that you're barely familiar with, because you have to get over that initial process of, you know, acquaintance, getting to know you. What is your life all about? Do I think that we are going in the same direction? What if you begin to know someone and you think, I don't think I should have put myself in this place in the first place? So there has to be some connectedness.
Okay, wait, just hold that thought. I'm coming back to you.
Yes.
Lisa, what is it that is your connection between you and your mentee, Salome? What is it that sparked the connection? Was it you who asked them, I want to mentor you, or did they come and say, we are a band, mentor us? How did that work?
With me and Salome personally, I saw this girl, and I knew there was something in her that really needed to come out. So that was for her personally. But it's so shocking that she reached out to me and said, I want to walk this journey with you. Okay. I had it in mind, but it came from her. So when it came from her, I believe in God. And that is where we said, confirmed, confirmed, confirmed.
Okay.
Because I had prayed about it. And I had asked God, what do I do? This girl needs someone like this. So when she wrote to me, I was like, confirmed, thank you, Jesus. And for the band, I'm a very passionate person. I talked to them. I told them, yo, this is not going to be easy. So the decisions you make from here moving forward will have to really mean something to you. And they came back to me and said, so where do you think you're going? You're not even going anywhere. So we have hijacked your life. Okay. You know, so for me as a person and even as a counselor, it resonates more when it comes from the other side, because I could see something missing in you, but if I approached you with it, there's a way you could take it, either positively or negatively. It's a risk I do not want to take, because that would mean I would either push you further away. And in any situation, you do not want to do that, because mentoring is so much psychological. You have to bring this person to a state of peace and comfort that they can open up and give you that space to walk with them. Yeah, yeah. And if that does not happen voluntarily, then you're pushing walls. They won't move.
Yeah. So we were talking about being connected.
Yes.
You have to have a place of connection. I'll ask you a question. Must those people then, as Lisa is saying, open up to you? Like they must be accountable to you in a sense, isn't it?
Yes.
Is there an element of accountability? Yes. Because you can't just mentor people who come to you, you talk for an hour, then they go away and they never change.
Remember, I started by saying that it is a process, and in this process, you invest time and other resources as well. You're investing your energy. To some extent, you will also invest your resources. And the reason why you're doing this is not so that you can be able to lift this person. Remember, for a successful mentorship to happen, you're not literally picking up this person from where it is that they are and placing them on a pedestal. This person needs to have walked a journey on their own. They need to have said, this is a place where I have arrived at. And therefore, I'm finding challenges to go to the next place, and therefore, I need a guide. You see, because sometimes we put a lot of load on the mentor and we say, oh, it's your responsibility to get me from wherever, rags to riches. That's really not the work of a mentor, because remember, they also have a very busy life that they have to contend with. This is a person who is showing potential. This is a person, like she is saying, who is showing undiscovered potential. You look at this person and you think they can do much better, they can go much further. If they are given opportunities, if they are given the open doors, if they are structured, you know, if they are aided, the goal is to empower this person. Because at the end, you want a life that is transformed, and you want that to replicate with others. You want this person to be able to work with others in mentorship. So initially, you know, you are creating a movement. You are not the end goal. I will invest my life in you because I know you have the capacity to invest your life in 5 other people. And so the movement continues. And so when you expect the mentor to be the person who is doing the groundwork, you will be disappointed. And these are some of the challenges that we face in mentorship. You know, they are unrealistic expectations. You think, oh, it's the responsibility of this person to do this, this, and that. But in mentorship, Pauline, it's a two-way journey. Okay. As much as the mentor is putting in the effort, the mentee also has to put in her fair share.
Okay, but surely, Jacky, if I'm being mentored by Lisa, I expect her to open certain doors for me. I don't expect that. I expect her to be helpful. I don't know. Maybe I'm being your typical Kenyan mentor, but I expect if it took her 10 years, it will take me 3.
Yeah.
Lisa, isn't that the idea?
That's a misconception.
Exactly.
If it took me 10 years, it might take you 20.
Then what's the point of having you as my mentor?
The point is, I'm just making it easier for you to learn that this is the path. Yeah, remember, we all have our different paths, Pauline. And just like in school, we all learn at different speeds, different rates. By the way, if my 10-year journey can take you 1 year, you are amazing. We're not saying it's impossible. But yes, as a mentor, my job is to show you these are the channels I went through. It's a personal and a very deliberate decision for the mentee to decide, I really want to pursue this. She said, this is what she did. Let me also pursue this and see how it works for me. Because yes, I will take you places with me. Salome goes everywhere with me. So she meets every person I meet. So it's now up to her to come and say, that person we met was talking about this. Do you think if I can do this with this person, it could work? It's a deliberate decision. Because I could take her everywhere and she decides she's just Salome and she'll sit there and look pretty. You see, there's nothing I can do about that. So mentorship is also a deliberate decision from the mentee to embrace or just sit there and look.
And use the opportunities.
Yes.
So the mentee must also be very...
Yes.
Okay.
I want to just emphasize on what she has said. And I want to put in the word action. And I also want to use the word responsibility. When I take on a mentee, I help them to understand that it's not going to be an easy journey and that a lot is required of them because it's their life that needs to be transformed, not mine. Mine is already at a place where I feel, you know, I need to pursue many other things and I'm on the journey to that. But this mentee is the one who needs to come up to the standard where she feels that her potential is being exploited. And therefore, her responsibility is to take action. So some of the things we need to do is... I will give her homework. There are assignments. There are opportunities that I will expose her to. Perhaps maybe I will take her to events where she can be able to do a lot of networking. I will connect her with people who we call destiny shapers. And so when you provide such opportunities for people and they expect you to do everything for them, then it does not work.
That's not mentorship.
Because one is not taking on responsibility. So they need to take on responsibility. And I also need to say that to some level as a mentor, you also need to put a timeline because I will not spoon food you for the rest of your life. I need to see some changes in your life in regards to the things that brought you to my life. So yes, it is a walk. I will open up my life to you. I will share my struggles. I will share my challenges. But on the other hand, I am also looking and I am also, you know, evaluating. What are you doing with the challenges that you're meeting? Are you taking action with the places and the, you know, opportunities that I'm presenting to you? So it is a two-way. It's actually a give and give.
Okay.
A give because the mentor is giving a lot, and a give to the mentee because she's also giving herself and taking advantage of the opportunities that she's being given. So
for the two of you, have you ever gotten to the point where you can't lose a mentee? You're like, this was not a good idea. It's not working out. And how do you cut them loose? Because for many of them, I'm sure by that time they are holding on to your skirt very tightly.
You see, for me, it happens a lot. I have done it a lot. Because again, if you're not accountable, if you're not responsible, then I can't help you. And I tell you, I work, in those moments I go corporate. So there's the first warning, then the second warning. The third one is summary dismissal. You know, because you can only give enough, Pauline, and you can only put yourself out there enough. I have had mentees who I have introduced to people and in turn gone back to those people and burnt my bridges with these people. It's a risk you do not want to take, but it happens. And in those moments, you just tell yourself, you know what, I busy. Thank you. It was nice to have you, but I have to love you and leave you. It's time.
Let me say that adults are autonomous and they're self-directed. So when I come in as a mentor, really I'm guiding you, but at the end of the day, you're the one who is going to make that decision in regards to what you want to do. And so, yes, there are some mentorship relationships that have broken because at the end of the day, you come in and this is what you need. This is what you want. This is how you want me to help you. But as we begin the process, you're pulling on the opposite direction. And therefore, that causes me to ask myself, is this value? You know, how is this giving me value? How is this adding value to you? And another thing that I have seen a lot is boundaries become a little bit blurred.
Absolutely.
You know, when we engage in a mentorship process, of course there is a structure. Then there is a set guideline. How often are we meeting? What are we talking about? Is there an assignment? What's the timeline? What topics are we covering? You know, what experiences are we going to go through? What are your abilities? What are your skills? What do you need to learn in this process? So when we begin, I actually make people do a contract. Because when you do a contract, then you cause the other person to also be accountable. And every time they look at it, they remind themselves why they're in this relationship. Okay? So sometimes when those boundaries are crossed and someone begins to take some of those things for granted, you may just be forced to terminate, because then we have gone out of the whole purpose of this process. If the person is misrepresenting themselves, you know, because when I take you on, it is again my name that is on the line. You know, people will be saying, you know, this lady was mentored by Jacky Masharia. And so if you're out there misrepresenting yourself, you're also representing my name. And I do not want to be associated with that. And like she has said, if we sit down and have that conversation and say, what's going on? You know, what is this part of your life that I do not know? If you're not open enough, if you feel that there are things that you still need to keep away from me, then that cannot be a trust relationship, because there are things that you feel you need to hold. And so there are many challenges that will happen in a mentorship relationship, including cross-cultural, you know, and familiarity. You know, sometimes I may guide you like this, and maybe in your culture you're not allowed to do this. So there are many reasons, but I want to say that one of crossing the boundary and being autonomous and just following your natural course, that is what I have experienced a lot, and for that, you know, you terminate. And I also want to say that some relationships just literally die out because somebody's expectation of mentorship is not what they find. They think, oh, it's going to be very easy. This person is going to take me for coffee dates. They're going to expose me to these opportunities. I will go smooth sailing. And then when you get into the process and realize, hiya, there is work that needs to be done. So the person doesn't come for their appointments. The person doesn't respond to your calls. The person it just fades off. So if it fades off, you can't be the person pursuing that relationship since you're not the one in need. So those are some of the reasons that relationships terminate.
We've run out of time, ladies. It's always so nice talking about such wonderful things. Now, Lisa, are you still going to continue mentoring people? And for you, we had a good example here of your mentees. As you go into season 4 of what you're working on now, and especially the training bits, what are your thoughts? And especially about the industry we are in.
For me, going into all that, and also like picking up from where I am right now, I want to work very closely with all the young girls coming into this industry, because they're coming with a lot of misconceptions, a lot of fears that need to be just put to the side. My concentration this time will be, and I am sorry because I'm going to be a little bit biased to the boy child, it's going to go to the ladies, because they need to also find that place of comfort and support and security within the industry. So going forward, I don't want them to go through where I have been through, but try and build it in a way that even the other women in the industry will find the need to actually reach out to one and hold a hand. It's the one thing that's not happening in the industry. Okay. Yeah.
All right, you've had it. Mentoring is paying forward. You're actually looking for someone to invest in for the future. And it's calling out talent in people, passing on skills and competencies, encouraging a sister. Some people don't need a lot. They just need you to say you can do it. And meeting with them and investing in them. So I hope out there, as you go into your week, think of somebody you can mentor. And actually, I agree with Jacky. Have a contract. Tell them you're going to mentor them for 2 months and then invest in them. So until next week, Baraka.